Hello everyone and welcome back to the kitchen. So today we are celebrating Easter, and you know Easter is one of my very favorite holidays, one of my very favorite events, and I also love spring. Just love it, love it. I'm tired of the cold and ready for the warm and the new growth and the green grass and the tulips and daffodils and everything blooming up. So today I am going to start out and show you how to make our resurrection hash brown casserole. So this comes with many different names, but we're going with the resurrection in honor of Easter. So what we're resurrecting though is actually our ham. So for Easter at our home, we have the Mountain View boneless fully cooked ham, which you can get this in the store, so don't forget that. And normally we eat it all. There's very rarely that any is left over, but if you have a chunk or two left over, I'm going to show you how to repurpose that and how to resurrect it into this hash brown casserole. So let's get started. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put into my bowl just a package of hash browns. Now these are actually the bits or the cubes. Let me grab some scissors. You can also use the shredded if you like. I made it both ways. I don't have a preference. This was handy to pick up, and so this is what I got. So I'm going to cut that, and those scissors really aren't that sharp. I'm just going to dump these into this, and if you're wondering what I called cubed, or this is called Southern style, that's what it looks like. They just look like cubed potatoes. So I'm going to add that, and then for my recipe, I'm going to add a can of good old-fashioned cream of chicken soup. And no, I've never made my own cream of chicken soup, cream of mushroom soup, any kind of cream of chicken soup. It's hard to beat this. So I'm going to add that. I'm just going to pour that in here. You don't need to do anything but just scoop it out, and then we're going to stir it all in just a few minutes with some more ingredients. All right, I think I've got all of that pretty cleaned out, and I'll just build my little trash pile right here. And then I'm going to add a 8-ounce container of just sour cream. And this small container is 8 ounces exactly, so I'm not gonna have to worry about measuring or anything. We're just gonna take it right on out of it. And that just got me. Watch out for the sour cream when you open it up. All right, so I'm gonna grab my spoon again, and all I'm gonna do is dump this in here. Just like that. All right, keep on building over there. And I'm gonna grab a napkin because I really do have sour cream all over me. All right, and then I'm going to get a cup of shredded cheese, and I went ahead and pre-shredded my cheese before we started filming. I always suggest when you're going to use cheese to melt, that it's going into a dish that is going to be melted or needs to melt down, shred your own. Don't get the pre-shredded with the in the package, because it does have a coating that makes it a little bit harder to melt. So my hands are clean, and this is for my family, so I'm just going to scoop with my hands this cheese into my measuring cup. And you don't have to have exactly a cup. You can go a little bit less, a little bit more. I wouldn't go too much more because you don't want to have overpower anything else. But this is mild cheddar cheese is what I'm using in this recipe. So I have a cup of that. And then I am going to get and I went ahead and pre-chopped my onion for good purposes. You all really didn't want to see me cry, and let me tell you, I cry every time I shred an onion. So this calls for, boy, this is strong. So this calls for a half a cup, and I chop mine pretty finely. And we are going to get that lid right back on there because that is strong. And if you hear that little bark in the background, that is Daisy. And she's just fussing at us for whatever reason. Who knows why she does. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to add is a half a cup of melted butter. Half a cup is 1 stick, and I went ahead and melted it up in the microwave. It takes about 45 seconds. And I'm just going to pour that in there just like that. And this is not a low-calorie It is not keto friendly. It is just delicious. So, just remember that if you're just wanting something really, really good and comforting food, this is going to be what you want to go to. All right, and so the last thing that I'm going to add to this casserole, and you can tell this is a big bowl and it's full, is our ham. And so what little bit I had left over, I just chopped it up. And I just chopped it up in these little pieces. No, they're not perfectly chopped all to get the same size, but you can see that it's just the tiny pieces. So it'll go and incorporate easily in this. I'm using my hands again, and there we go. I would say probably maybe a cup and a half, or you could actually use this whole bowl if you wanted to. It's just going to be how much ham you have left and your preference. And the more you put in, the more you could just literally use this as a meal in itself. You can, once we get it baked, you can just put it on your plate, add a salad or green beans and a piece of roll or toast or whatever, if you like cod bread, and you'd be good to go. Or you can use it for a side dish also, just however you want to use it. All right, so I am going to go in and I am going to stir this up. And this looks really, really good. It is just really nice and creamy and stirs together. And I will tell you, I don't remember if I told you, make sure you thaw the potatoes. They come frozen, and I thawed mine in the microwave. I just put it on 2 pounds on the defrost, or you can set it out ahead of time and let it thaw like that. I never think ahead, so I always just have to use my microwave. But make sure you thaw that, and the reason I'll tell you why, because I've done this, is if you use the frozen potatoes, once you pour your melted butter in there, it's just going to solidify, and it makes everything harder to stir. So you really want those potatoes to be thawed out, and it really makes it stirring up and combining it so much easier. And again, that is from past experience on that. So I have got this all stirred up, just like that. And it really, and this is how you want it to look. It's going to look just like that. And I am going to put it in my pan, and I'm going to spray this just for keep that from sticking as much as we can. And then I am going to take this bowl, and that is a big bowl, but this really, really does look so good. And I'm going to get every little bit out because we don't want to waste a bit. And I'll grab my spoon right here, kind of clean that off, make that easier to spread. All right. And then just spread this out into your pan. This is probably a 9 by 13, and this fills this up nicely. So I would tell you at least probably a 3 to 4 quart pan is what you would need, 9 by 13, or any casserole dish that you prefer. All right, so that is in there. And we've got one more thing to do before I put this in the oven. I am going to take, oh, there they are, my cornflakes. I bet you all wondered what I had this cornflake box sitting here. So I have 2 cups of cornflakes, and I am going to crush them up. Boy, if you want to work out a little bit of anxiety or anger, just get you some cornflakes and crush them up. Works well. All right, not that I have any anxiety or anger, just in case. And to that, I am adding a half a stick of butter that I've already melted. Half a stick is a 1/4 cup, I believe. And that's, like I said, I already melted it. I am just going to pour that in there and hope I don't have too much of a mess. I was going to use a bowl, but I thought, we'll just do this. And just work that just like that. You know what? That actually works really well. One less bowl to have to clean up. One less bowl for Mike to have to wash. All right, so we've got this all mixed up, and then I am going to go in with my hands. We're going to get a little messy right here, and I'm just going to sprinkle this on top. This will just give it some nice texture and nice crunch. after it's finished. Okay, so I am going to put this in the oven. I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I always make the recommendation, if you don't know how hot or how cold your oven runs, use a oven thermometer. You can buy them anywhere. They're really easy to have, and they will help you regulate your oven. So mine's on 350. I'm going to pop this in. This will take about 50 minutes to cook. You'll see it kind of bubbling and brown up. It's I'll check it in about 45 just to see how it's doing, but we're going to set the timer at 50 minutes. All right, here we go. So the timer on the oven has gone off, and I cooked this, baked this for 50 minutes. Oh, and look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? I'm gonna taste test our resurrection hash browns. And I'm gonna make sure I get a piece of ham and potatoes and the cereal crumbs and get everything in there. I took a big bite, but I have to tell you, that's delicious. Enjoy.